Frieren's first-class mage exam takes 11 episodes of build-up of action, grueling challenges, before the final round is revealed. And it's just...
Alright, hit that like button and let's talk about something serious today. Is Frieren Beyond Journey's End actually a genius-level anime? I'm not even exaggerating. When this show dropped, a lot of us thought it would just be another fantasy series with elves and magic. But what we got, a quiet, emotional masterpiece about time, memory, and what it really means to connect with people. And after watching it, I genuinely had to sit there and rethink how I view storytelling in anime.
Just a vibe check. The finale of the first class mage certification concluded the whole thing with just a basic glance over from one grumpy ancient. But it might be the most genius of all 3 exam tests. A lot rides on this spur-of-the-moment snap decision-making from Zuri. We're told very few people have become first-class mages, and then we see the concept treated really quite lightly. But is it? The final test is a great way to round off how much the characters have grown through the arc and the first season as a whole. One of the most interesting quirks of the mage test is that in essence it's closing up a classic shonen format, yet a chat in the garden feels like the best solution that could have been done at all. Let's look at why. Frieren's take on the tournament arc is an ingenious way to do one. It isn't just head-to-head matches of raw strength. The first 2 rounds are a bit more straightforward. I mean, they're catching a bird and that turns into a knife fight. And then there's a dungeon which becomes a boss fight with Frieren's duplicate. But that test is built around cooperation, not just combat.
Okay, first reaction, the pacing. This show moves slow, like slow, but not boring slow. It's intentional, it lets moments breathe. Instead of flashy battles every 5 minutes, we get reflection. We get silence, we get Frieren standing in a field, remembering her old party, especially Himmel, and suddenly it hits you. This isn't about the adventure. The adventure already happened. This is about what comes after. That alone flips the entire fantasy formula on its head.
The final test that gets the most creative though, while still being a fantastic assessment of how well a mage would fit into the association. You pass or fail from the assumptions of one elf. It's a final test based purely on vibes. Well, at first glance. In function, this does kind of serve the same narrative purpose as your traditional tournament arcs finale. There's a bit more to Zuri's criteria and how it compares to our standard who's the strongest bracket fight though. It makes a snap decision a perfect way to end this arc. In this one conversation we see the progress of characters just as much as a triumph in a fight, and we learn a lot more about the world too. A test might be based on conversation, but it fits with what the prize is. The last test of this Frieren arc isn't arbitrary. Mostly. It's mostly not. It's supposed to be a fix to what went wrong with the second test. The decision to switch from a normal exam to this was spur of the moment, since Frieren must have carried the other participants, right? I mean, she's smurfing in Zuri's favourite game. Was the second test actually overly generous? Nah, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. If Frieren hadn't have taken the exam, then she wouldn't have had a duplicate in the first place. And Ubo manages to take out the duplicate of Sensei pretty damn easily. I mean, that's kind of the final boss cleared, done. It might not have gone too...
Now let's talk emotional damage. Because this anime does not scream its feelings at you, it whispers them. Frieren, who lives for over 1,000 years, doesn't realize the weight of human lifespans until it's too late. Watching her slowly understand regret? That's powerful. The genius part is how subtle it is. No over-the-top drama, just small conversations, quiet flashbacks, and that haunting soundtrack. You feel the passage of time in your bones.
Differently, but let's not get too derailed with hypotheticals. Drop the what-ifs in the comments. The final exam changes as an excuse for Zuri to specifically step in and meddle with Frieren taking it as a whole. She literally says it's all Frieren's fault. She doesn't want the mage she doesn't respect to get into her club. Since Zuri ends up agreeing that the applications are a stronger batch this year, we can assume she wasn't arbitrarily judging the contestants. The final test was a worthy judge of who is and isn't first-class mage material. So how is that decision being made? One element is established as Zuri sets up the test as a whole. She isn't testing for skill or morality. A good first-class mage isn't the same thing as a good person. The criteria she directly asks about are a litmus test for character. That includes these elements: their attitude towards becoming a first-class mage, and also towards her. Many lose just from this. Their opinion of Zuri: is she small and cute? Visualization. Ubel gets by on visualizing herself succeeding, one of the times she actually does go based on relevant skills. View of magic. Is it a tool for murder or making some flowers? Zuri is mainly looking for those who fit her view of magic. Potential. Frieren largely just gets by on potential. Despite not really fitting into Zuri's view, she recognizes something that no one else has managed. She's exceeding Zuri's own.
And can we talk about the animation quality? Madhouse absolutely cooked here. The magic sequences are clean and fluid, but even the simplest facial expressions carry weight. A slight pause, a tiny smile, a distant look. It's restrained, but that restraint is what makes it hit harder. The world feels lived in, not just designed to look cool. Every background feels like a memory waiting to happen.
Apprentices. Glasses actually gets through in a similar way here though. He just impresses by having the balls to do the whole thing working remotely. And lastly, and most importantly, not being called Frieren. Some of these failures are interesting. Lack of imagination, fear. Then she spends a while just insulting Frieren for not killing the Demon King single-handedly, which provokes the discussion of their two approaches to magic. It's a look into the bigger part of what she's testing for, why a conventional test can help us better understand the characters. Do the entrants align with her view of what the elite mages should do and think? It's character that's being tested, and that's what we're seeing as we delve into this test. Frieren views the flower spell as instrumental to killing the Demon King and inspired a young Himmel to live the way he did. It's an approach completely at odds with Ceres, who views inefficiency as weakness and magic as a tool for combat. Frieren doesn't fit her definition of a good mage. She's wasted her time on something completely irrelevant. The flashback is a nice parallel to the present too, a different version of an important decision being made based entirely on vibes. Himmel is explaining why he put faith in Frieren, as Zuri is explaining why she won't, or at least because they have a different view on what magic should be. She won't encourage her. The chasm in belief illuminates.
Another genius move? The theme of perspective. Most fantasy shows glorify heroes at their peak. Frieren shows us what legacy means after the hero is gone. It makes you think about your own life. Who remembers you? What moments matter? The show turns a typical RPG-style victory into a meditation on mortality and connection. That's not just good anime. That's thoughtful storytelling.
An inherent difference in how the two elves see the world, even if they both share the same struggle with connection, because one has never actually experienced all the good that can come from showing someone kindness. Throughout the test, we get to learn more about the characters we've spent this Frieren arc with, but more broadly, how they view their role, including some great setup for important characters later. Denkin gets a lot of credit for being military-minded in his test. He has a very different answer to favourite spell, saying magic is a tool for combat, a response that actually makes Suri smile, yet the military-minded mages that pass all seem personally more interested in Frieren's approach to magic, maybe more so than Zuri's. At the end, we see she does remember each of her apprentices' favourite spell, and none of them, it turns out, are for killing. The inefficiency and weakness of using spells just for fun, magic to create a personal connection. It's the exact type of human connection Frieren has been chasing since the death of Himmel the hero. The process they go through to get approval from an elf with a grudge who has decided she's the authority on anyone daring to use magic, but most of the passing mages seem to get more enjoyment from Frieren's approach. Zuri also struggles to make connection as parallels to Frieren, but in a way, she's almost like a Frieren who never met Himmel. A nice counterpoint just before the test is Frieren trying to fix Fern's staff. Stark consoles her that Frieren, well, she can't quite understand.
So, is Frieren the anime genius? Honestly, I think it might be. It redefines fantasy without being loud about it. It trusts the audience to feel instead of forcing emotion. It's mature, reflective, and beautifully crafted. If genius means changing how stories are told and experienced, then yeah, Frieren deserves that title. Let me know in the comments. Are you calling it a masterpiece, or am I overhyping it?